people, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Oge again. We are here with Anais again. And today we are going to be sharing our experiences being black here in Germany. She mostly is sharing her experiences being black here in Germany. In my video, I put the card somewhere up here. I had talked about my own experience being black here in Germany, and I said so many other people have their own experiences and they see or perceive life here differently. So today we'll be hearing from Anais what her experience has been like being black, being African here. So Anais, welcome again.
So thank you.
Okay, so first and foremost, how long have you been in Germany?
It's been exactly 2 years I'm in Germany.
2 years?
Yeah, because I arrived in Germany on the 24th of March.
Yeah.
So last week was 2 years I'm in Germany.
So at least before the whole lockdown where there's less interaction with people.
Yeah.
So you've had some one-on-one interaction with people before now. So what has been your general experience being a black person here in Germany?
First of all, I would say Germans are more skeptical. The first and the basics interactions I had with Germans were in my language class, during my language classes, and they weren't the best because I realized, first of all, the teachers who were Germans too, I think most of them were very cold. You see, very cold people, not much not the spirit of Africans because I was just freshly arriving in Germany, like a month after, and I actually expected myself to look at the Germans, to see them, to have the same feeling like I was like in Africa.
Wow,
Everything. I know. Yeah, Germans are not really like that. Always very cold.
Too serious for their own group.
Now, too serious, and they're always like, okay, fine. They don't really like to have much contact. If you're a colleague, then you're a colleague. If you're a student, then you're a student. Full stop. The other details they don't really like to have into it, to have guys into contact. I would say that generally, that's what I can say generally in terms of Germans, and equally, I think it also depends on the mentality, on the background too, because I've met Germans too who are very welcoming people, see, very calm and understanding, and the other way I've met very, very cold people, very oh my god, super cold people. And equally there are these people who they are very straight, that is, they follow all the rules, every single rules, because this
law-abiding citizens.
It's a country of rules and everything. So there are some of them, my goodness, if they say don't do this, they will be following it to the exact point. And yeah, they are like, I think at a certain extent they behave like robots. because there are behind every rule there are some points, there are some aspects,
exceptions.
You have to really look into it.
This thing is the African in you that is talking.
No, it is not the African into me. It is not the African into me, but there are situations where you tell yourself, okay, the rule is the rule, yes.
Yeah.
But you can twist the thing and then everywhere because you cannot be with two Germans from different backgrounds and different moralities. You see, one will be like, it is it, and that's what I was taught at work, and I will do it exactly like that. But another person will be quite understanding, and then he will think like a human being. He'll be like, okay, fine, it's the rule, yes, but if this situation can happen, then maybe. I think you see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I'll say, from my point of view, I think there are three category of Germans. Yeah, the very cold ones. I think I'll not even say three, I'll say two. The very cold ones who are more into the rules, and the very cool and warm one. Yeah.
So what was your experience like in terms of cultural shock? So for me, for example, when I first came here and I saw that people are not very communal, people are more to themselves, everybody minds their business. For me, it was a shock. I think it was one of the cultural shocks that I had when I came here. So for you, what's the cultural shocks that you have? What are the cultural shocks that you've had since you came to Germany?
The first cultural shock was about the noise. fact that you can't make that much noise for you not to disturb your neighbor. So you have to be calm. So, I mean, in your own house, you have to take care of, you have to consider the fact that your neighbor maybe might not find it very welcoming or maybe very good. It's true. Along the line, I noticed it is in all Europe, but I think in Germany it's more
Stricter.
now. It's more stricter because if your baby, because we went to an extent where I've seen examples where your child at home cries a lot, your neighbor will complain that there is a child in this house who cries a lot. That's very funny, and it's like you, the parent, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
And because I've also seen another example, you'll be cooking our African food, and then you know how the aroma, you know how strong the aroma is. They will complain that the aroma of your foods are too high. I mean,
That
like,
is stopping them.
what are you supposed to do?
Are you serious?
I'm telling you, what are you supposed to do? Like, should you change the direction of the wind, or maybe you should just
You should hold it.
yeah, and then
You should hold the wind and say, wind blow
Don't-
only this way.
that is the point. So I think there are these very, very strict ones who are just chaotic. I mean, they are just into their own ways, and the cultural aspect of it is, see, it's not that much.
I think I've also noticed that those who are they are too on the narrow path, they're not welcoming to other people. I think those are mostly the ones that are not so educated or so traveled. So for example, those in my own experience here, a lot of Germans that I've seen that have traveled a lot, that are well educated, they seem to be much more accommodating, much more welcoming, much more understanding. Even when, like for example, this food cooking thing, an educated person should know that there's nothing you can do about it. You are cooking. It doesn't expect you to probably shut down the aroma or compress it in the pot or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. If somebody travels a lot, he's going to directly understand you. But I think the people doing that are more of the traditional ones. Yeah, they're much more into traditions, and they feel like, okay, these people they are everywhere in my country, and they are feeling like they are going to do this. So they are more of the traditions. They feel at risk that maybe someday the real Germany, like from the traditions and everything we used to know, is going to change. Yeah, because when you come to your country, you're going to have your children here, and the children, you're going to give them cultures, and then they will grow them, and along the line, and 40% of the population start being strangers. You see, there will be kind of a cultural imbalance. Yeah.
So do you think that this plays out in terms of racism? So many people have complaints about Germans being racist. Like I said in my previous video, I personally haven't had a personal experience in the sense of having a lot of people being racist towards me. But do you have such experience in terms of racism?
Yeah, I've had two experiences with the racism. But before I start narrating the stories, I would say Germans, I mean pure Germans, are not that racist. Okay. That's something I've noticed. They might be very strict, they might be very cold, but I've noticed that pure Germans are not racist. The people racist in Germany are the people from Turkey.
Oh really?
Yeah, they are the people from Turkey. So the first experience I had.
Wait, so the Turkish people, they are not even in their country.
They are not in their country.
And there is somebody, another person's country, they are racist in another person's country.
Yeah, they are very racist. That is something I've. I mean, many of them, they are like, okay, maybe you are an African, since you're an African, they are Turkey. They're
Turkish.
They are Turkish. They'll be like, it's like an interest war. You understand? Like they are all looking for interest, because in Germany they want to be Germans too, and they know hooking up with Germans, they're going to have the papers. It's the same thing Africans are looking towards too. So they'll be like, okay, fine, this guy can take my place some way somehow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like a competition.
I look at it from my point of view to be like a competition some way, and they are, you know, they are like that. I've seen many Turkish. They are very disrespectful. They will look at you to be pushy. and many of them I've seen them in friends too.
Yeah.
And among the little experience I've had with race too, there was a Turkish among. That is, the example was it was actually during the winter, and you know during this period of the year, we have longer nights.
Yeah.
So it was like around 5 o'clock, and I was coming out from Teddy because I like went to Teddy, do some shopping, and so the time for me to come out from the shop, there was a man coming in. So the man said in Deutsch, maybe he thought I wasn't understanding I would not understand what he was saying. So he said, oh, like funny expression on his face was like, oh, I just left the dark to meet the dark inside.
Are you serious?
So you'll be like, outside was black,
Yeah.
since the night was already falling, and then now because we actually felt in ourselves on towards the door, so it's like, you see the way you see. I mean, the expression. So it's like I left the dark, and then I met
the dark outside
yeah,
to meet the dark
inside.
Like, wow,
It was really deep, you know. It was very, very deep. But at that moment, I did not really know how to react.
to it.
So because I think it was 3 months I arrived in January, and I just passed it, but it really went deep into me. Really deep into me. Really deep.
Shit.
So the second one was just recently, and it was at a bus station. So I was busily waiting for my boss to come, and sure I was looking a little untidy, very and so there's this guy, very good, healthy German Deutsch guy. So he came to me, he said, I want to know you better, and how are you called? I was like, no, I'm not interested in it. He was really insisting, like he wants to know me. And what really brought me down was the fact that he said, no, I'm a Deutsch, so I want to know you better. You have to give me your name so that we can go together and sleep together. I meant like, okay, fine. I'm not understanding what he's saying. So he still insisted, I'm
just
a Deutsch.
like that?
Yeah, he said I'm a German. So we have to go together, we have to sleep together at home. Then the funniest part of it, he said, I'm a Deutsch, then you have to speak in German. I was like, man, you think it's German I can't speak? That's where the thing just mixed into my head, and I just started giving one after the other,
You entered the guy straight.
So now that if you think it's the problem of a language that I can't speak, man, you've really knocked at the wrong door today. So we started talking, we talked, and then he left. He wasn't that far. So I was just on my phone, and I was like, what just happened? I think this guy somehow took me to be a prostitute. Like he would just come to me, tell me he's a Deutsch, and the fact that he wants to go home with me, you see,
Just like that.
I'll just jump on the occasion because that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like. That's the image of African women many of our sisters have given to us in Europe.
Yeah. Like they jump on the first German they meet.
That's the thing.
To help them get settled in.
So I mean that same moment, for like 2 minutes later, before I could realize everything and still reshuffle my head back. So now the real Cameroonian, the real spirit. My head was high. You understand? I just stood up and I just looked behind me. The guy was talking with the bus driver. So I just went in front of in the middle of the conversation, and I really started shouting to the guy. I was shouting at him, and the boss man wasn't really understanding what was happening. So the guy was like, no, I'm in the middle of the conversation, we can talk together later. I was, no, guy, you can't come to me like that and expect me, and then you tell me we can talk together later, and I'll just execute it directly. I gave him what I could give him, and I asked him, if you don't excuse yourself right now, you're just going to have some problems. So it was like a mother shouting to the kid. You know these people, when your mom comes to him and then will be like, so I told him, you have to excuse yourself right now. The bus driver was kind of confused. What's happening?
What's going on here?
What's just going on here? So the guy really started saying sorry for this and this. And I read the street. Really
hurts.
That was really deep.
And it's even strange because generally Germans don't walk up to people and just somebody you don't even know and just strike up the conversation. Is very, very rare. Now to even walk up to the person and then make an assumption of the fact that you can just go with the person, I think it's beyond rude. And German generally are not rude people.
Yeah.
So that person is.
I think he's disturbed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he was somebody who had psychological problems. Yeah.
Because it's really out of place. Even
I was just waiting, and the funniest thing is when he was talking to me, he was spitting on the floor. So I was just waiting. I was just like, man, do that on me. You know, do that and then he falls on my skin. Do it again.
Let me tear my chest for you.
Oh God, do it.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Interesting. So in terms of security, how do you feel as a black person? In terms of security, how do you feel being black here in Germany?
I personally, I feel secured. I feel secure because from my background, I am ready. You see, I'm already mentally ready.
You're ready to fight.
No, not mentally ready to fight, but mentally ready to overcome all those things.
Yeah, and protect yourself.
And protect myself.
Yeah.
But the people, I mean, what I'm afraid of is where will my kids be ready for that?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they will still be black. Even if they are Germans, they will still be black Germans growing in Germany.
Yeah.
And so far as they are black, there is a big difference. Even in school, there will be a very big difference. Although they are born here and then they speak the German the Deutsch very well, but I think in some way, somehow that for them, I'm really scared.
Worried about.
Yeah, I'm worried about if they
because kids can be mean sometimes.
Yeah,
kids can be quite mean.
And you know, if the parents at home are not at that time, if the parents at home are not good people, like they are racist people, the child will just transfer the aggression to the child in school. And imagine one morning you get up and your child maybe commits suicide, because those things, those things really, as we've seen, the disasters they cause for children. He can commit suicide, he decides not to go to school again, and then it affects his personality in the future. See, so that's the greatest, that's what I'm scared of.
I've had conversations with a few blacks who grew up here as Germans, and one of their biggest complaints were growing up, they had issues interacting with other kids of other races, because even in their class and all of that, the teachers are always treating them differently. Their friends or schoolmates are always calling them names and all of that. So I can imagine it's quite a challenge. Let's hope that somehow we'll find a way to manage all of this. So thank you so much for being here with us. Really appreciate your time and appreciate having you here with us. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video today. Do subscribe if you haven't, because I don't know why you haven't, but subscribe please, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.